concerned. I'm not failing this challenge, but I'm not. And unfortunately, the shit that I want to get done is not shit that I would like to be doing. Hello, we are going to be reading for the same amount of time I spent on Instagram this week. I didn't explain that very well. We're going to be replacing my Instagram time with my reading time this week. And last week was really bad, which is why I want to film this video because I think my Instagram scrolling time has gotten worse and worse. I don't have TikTok. I deleted TikTok. I put a time limit on my Instagram, but since I've been more active posting on Instagram, I have been misusing my time there. I go on there to post something and then I spend an hour scrolling. So this week we're gonna do our best to swap my Instagram time with reading time. Quick caveat, on Saturday starts my winter break and I have a week off and I am going to Dublin. Conveniently, Saturday was the day that I spent the most time scrolling last week. I might have a hard time reading that much on that day since I have a flight to Dublin. Like, unfortunately, my flight to Dublin takes precedent over this challenge. Maybe I might fail, but I'm gonna do my best because the goal is not to accomplish this challenge. The goal is to accomplish scrolling less and reading more. So if I can do that even just a little bit, I'm okay with if I don't reach the whole hour amount every day. However, I'm gonna do my best to reach that amount every day because it's more fun if I get to win. I like to win. I want to win. So we're gonna do my best to achieve the hour amount every day. I have them all written down on my calendar here in front of me, how much I have to read for each day. I'm gonna do my best to not go on my phone. My computer is different because I do have school. Like, I'm actively in school, so a lot of my screen time is spent. For example, a few days last week I was spending an hour on Spotify, and it was because I had it pulled up on my computer and was listening to music while I was doing homework. Things like that I'm not so stressed about. Like, it does make my screen time hour-wise look astronomically high and really scary. It should be relatively easy to keep it low. However, what you care about, the reading. Today is Sunday, which means today I have to start my reading. How many hours did I spend on Instagram last Sunday? 2 hours and 14 minutes. So today we have to read for at least 2 hours and 14 minutes, which shouldn't be super hard. I am counting audiobook time because I am studying abroad in Paris right now. If you couldn't tell, slash if I haven't told you already, it's like currently my personality. So I'm not gonna restrict like my ability to go do other things to be reading as well. I want to be able to, I need to go grocery shopping today. Let's pop in an audiobook, you know? Okay, actually, am I just changing my own mind? Does my reading time have to be sit down 2 hours a day? Because I obviously had enough time on these days to sit for 37 minutes and scroll. We'll see. We'll see if I want to count audiobook time. I'll keep track of it, and then if I want to count it, we'll figure it out as we go. The goal is just to stop scrolling. So whatever makes me do that, we're doing it. Okay, last Sunday I was on a train on the way back from Brussels, so this makes a little bit more sense. We're gonna see how much I can get done this week reading-wise. What am I in the middle of? Currently, I'm in the middle of 2 books, 1 audiobook, which we'll see if I'm gonna count it, but I also might Kindle count, so I might read it on my Kindle. It's A Dance of Lives by Brittany Arena. So far, I'm eating it up. I really, really want to keep listening to it this week because I had a really fun time listening and I want to keep listening to it, but I also am in the middle of this behemoth of a book, which I would be very surprised if we finish this week. 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I would ideally not like to bring this to Ireland. Like, this in and of itself is at least 5 pounds and I do have a weight limit on my back. I don't want to bring this to Ireland, but also I wouldn't be opposed. It just would be ideal if I could finish this week. So maybe with all of this time that I have to read, maybe I'll be able to get a good chunk of the way through this. But my goal is to mainly make progress through this book. And it's going to make it kind of maybe boring for you because I'm really only going to be reading this book. I also might start another physical book, depending on my mood. I'm trying to go with the wind here. Anyways, it's already 9 a.m. What have I done this morning? Scroll for an hour. So what we're gonna do is pop in an audiobook, go to the grocery store, start some laundry, get some chores done. I need to go to the library later today because I need to lock in and apply to internships. And I also want to go on a run by the Seine. When am I gonna fit in the reading? I don't know. 2 hours and 14 minutes on the clock. We're doing it. We're doing it today. No excuses. There's no excuse for sitting in bed and scrolling on Instagram. Lame. Hashtag lame. Hashtag get the fuck out of your bed. How is Instagram any better than the city that you're in right now? It's not. Basically, I've done 1 hour of reading time today, physically at the library like you saw. And I've done 4 hours of reading total. So 3 audiobook hours and then 1 physical hour. I would like to keep going on the physical book situation. I don't know if I can read 11/22/63. Okay, I can read it. I'm craving something giggly. And while 11/22/63 is funny, it's not like hee hee giggly, I want to stay up all night because I'm reading a romance. I think I'm craving that. What I've learned over the past few weeks is I need to go with my cravings because what my gut is telling me is what I'm gonna like, and that happens to be neither of the books that I'm reading at this current moment. So I need to start another one. This could be a good move here, starting another book on my Kindle to just hee hee ha ha giggle all night. That sounds like exactly what I want. Something that I could finish tonight, like very plausibly. I think I'm gonna start that while I cook my dinner. Maybe I'll make dumplings, 2 rice cakes, peanut butter, and an apple. Very specific, but that's kind of what I was craving. I'm a little bit concerned because I dumped out what I thought was edamame. Of course, the can was in French, so the picture looked like edamame. I can even prove it to you. I have another can. The picture looks like edamame, right? This looks like edamame. I dump it out. This is what it looks like. I'm sorry, that's not edamame, or whatever we're eating in the US is jacked full of like preservatives, which it probably is, but that is not edamame. So I myself is shocked. So we're gonna cook this and see what happens. My cooking situation here is, to say the least, not good. I don't have an oven, which makes it kind of hard to cook a lot of stuff. I have to cook things on my stove. I have 1 pan and 1 sauce pot. And so it kind of has been making it a little bit hard to make like nutritious meals because kind of limited a little bit, but I'm working on it. So if anyone has like really good nutritious meals that they enjoy that are very simple to make and you don't need an oven, let me know. I've been on the hunt for sweet potatoes here. I can't find them. I cannot find a sweet potato. I'm gonna keep cooking because that just shocked me, but I thought I would share. And I'm gonna figure out what I'm reading on audio soon. This is the result of my dinner, and yes, I know it looks like prison food. Okay, hello, good morning. I actually finished my time last night. I'll put up a picture, but I reached 2 hours and 16 minutes, I think. We have a lot to go over actually because I kind of went rogue. I made a lot of progress in my audiobook. I read a little bit of the Stephen King in that 2 hours of physical reading because I didn't count the audiobook for this challenge. In my Stephen King book, I made it to page 53. Not very far. It was a little heavy, and last night I was craving something a little bit giggly, a little bit more fun. This book is really good. However, laying in bed holding this, near impossible, let me just tell you. So I decided to switch it up and go for something a little bit more lighthearted. So I picked up a book on my Kindle, and I ended up picking up Face Off, the first book in the DC Stars series by Chelsea Curto, I'm pretty sure. I made it to chapter 10, page 69. So essentially last night while I was in bed, I was just reading this. I had sat up a little bit and read the Stephen King, but while I was laying down in bed, I was reading this. I got a pretty good chunk of the way through, 17% on page 69. So I'm gonna keep reading this today. I think I'm probably gonna finish my audiobook quite soon, but again, we're not counting that towards the challenge. Today I have 37 or 39, I don't remember, 37 or 39 minutes to read. I was on my phone the least Monday last week, which is 37 minutes, 39 minutes, whatever it was for Instagram time. And I think I can be semi-successful because I have class in the morning from 10 to 1, and then I have class at 2:30 to like 4. I will start the timer for today and keep you updated. I did wake up this morning and go for a run and listen to my audiobook then, but I forgot to start the timer, so I did it. I need to go walk in at a coffee shop and like get some shit done. And unfortunately the shit that I want to get done is not shit that I would like to be doing. I actually just finished A Dance of Lies by Brittany Arena. Gag. Oh my god. The beginning, I was like, okay, this is good. I'm liking it, whatever. Like, second half of the book picked up so much and I started to really, really love it. I think the beginning was a little bit too slow for my liking, but like not in a super bad way. It just, I think we didn't really get to like the main point, the main plot until about halfway. And then I was like, okay, I'm locked onto this. I know where we are like in the story. It's not going to be a complete 5 stars. However, the second book in that series, which I think is coming out this year, fully has the potential to be 5 stars because oh my god, it was so good. I totally recommend as like a romantasy. I predicted the ending, but only after they were like, oh, there's gonna be a bargain. And I'm like, okay, I know what the bargain's gonna be. I couldn't have told you like, oh, they're gonna bargain with this person and this is gonna happen. It was like predictable as we were going, I think. Sorry, I can't talk when I'm doing my mascara. I am actually so invested. Like, I can't wait to get the second book this year. I don't remember when it comes out exactly. Right now, it's sitting at like a 4.5. It was so addicting, especially when you got to the end. Just how everything wrapped up was so genius, and I felt like it was a fantasy that, like, I felt the stakes. I wasn't like, oh, of course they're gonna win. You know what I mean? I, at all points of the book, felt like, oh my god, what the fuck is gonna happen? How the fuck are they gonna deal with this? All that stuff. Last night I completed my 37 minutes, whatever it was. Only through audio though, because I remember now why I only had 37 minutes of Instagram time last Monday. It was because I'm freaking busy on Mondays. I have 2 classes and then I have something in the night, but I only have like 3 hours at home total during the day, so I didn't have a lot of time to just sit down and do things that weren't my homework. So I did finish the reading, but it was all through audio, and then today I'm working on it. I think today is like 2 hours and something minutes, but I'm working towards that right now, and I think I'm already at like 2 hours and 50 minutes in my audiobook listening time this morning because I'm fairly proud of myself. I woke up and I immediately started reading, and then I got my laptop and I was like, okay, I'm gonna lock in, make some things, do some work. And so I did that while I was listening to my audiobook. It was like a bunch of Canva stuff that I needed to do. I didn't really do that much scrolling, so I was very proud of myself this morning. I do need to get myself out of my house, go to a coffee shop, and like lock in on some work. I need to make sure the coffee shops that I'm going to are okay with laptops. And I also might hit up the library today and lock in there a little bit. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am not failing this challenge, but I'm not keeping as good of track as I probably wish I would have. I didn't set a timer for yesterday, but I do know that I did reach my goal for reading because I finished my audiobook and there was more than enough time on the audiobook to like get me to where I needed to be. And then I also read about like 4 or 5%, maybe a little bit more, of the first book in the DC Stars series. So I know that I reached my reading number. I think it was like 2 hours and 40 minutes or 2 hours and 20 minutes, something along those lines. Sorry, I'm making my rice cake with peanut butter. It was something like that, and so I successfully did that. Today I need to look and check how much reading time I need to do. I have like a sneaking suspicion that I'm getting sick, and I really don't want to be sick because I'm flying to Dublin this weekend, like I said, and it's not like I'm like deathly ill and I can't go, but it's just like, really, during my trip to Dublin, you're gonna give me a cold? Like, seriously? Today I need to read for 1 hour and 13 minutes. I think that's pretty doable. Yesterday, when I was like riding the subway home, I whipped out my Kindle and started reading on the subway. Very good experience. I don't know why I haven't been doing that this entire time, but I think I'm gonna do a little bit of that today, and then I'm not really planning on doing anything after my classes because I think I'm getting sick. I might not even be at my classes if I can get a doctor's appointment. We might have a pretty good evening full of reading. Been just so addicted to Instagram, like really bad, which is again hence why we're doing this. I'm gonna eat my breakfast, read a little bit while I eat my breakfast, and I have to get ready for class. Oh, I wanted to update you on how I'm feeling about the DC Star series on my Kindle. It's a little bit cheesy, for sure. It's a little bit cheesy. It's a little bit like typical hockey romance, but like then if you added the female main character who played hockey, it's probably exactly what you'd expect it to be. This has just happened to happen, and then it affects my experience reading this book. But last night it came out with the phone call and with the president and the US men's hockey team, and like that whole situation kind of not came out, but actually I think it was yesterday that it came out, but I found out about it yesterday. For some reason, it is shaping how I see this fictional world. Like, by no means is this book bad. These are clearly men written by women, like very clearly. There's like NFL players and hockey players and like all these people. I'm like, okay, but like IRL, you would not be saying these things. You would be laughing at the misogynistic joke, like if you were in the situation. Probably it's valid, but also at the same time it's not valid because it's like you're putting outside expectations on this book. But at the same time, I'm like, when a man written by a woman is too good, then it makes me be like, okay, this is not real. And that's so sad because, like, you know, men shouldn't be misogynistic and all these things, but a lot are, especially in this word space with the hypermasculinity and stuff. It's definitely like a circumstantial reason to kind of not be really in the story, but unfortunately those are my circumstances, so what am I gonna do about it? But I feel like I tried to read a little bit more last night and I literally couldn't keep my eyes open. I mean, that's like an ideal situation. I'd rather be sleeping than on Instagram, but still. But I really am gonna try and do the whole hour in, what was it, 14 minutes? Completely physically on my Kindle, reading it with my eyes versus count the audiobook. But I do have time to have an audiobook in, so it might be nice to also have that going. But that's my plan for today. I'm gonna eat my breakfast, get ready for school. I'll see you this afternoon after school and everything. So had a really cute outfit on today. And now, guess what I have to do? Take it off, because guess what I fucking have? Pink eye. I have pink eye. Oh my god. And you might be asking, how do you get pink eye, Reagan? Isn't that a disease that little gross kids get? And to that I say yes. But what you don't know is the public transport system in Paris. We were warned that the public transport system here will fuck you up. It has fucked me up. And I have pink eye. So I have to stay in for 24 hours so I can go to school tomorrow. But so what does that mean? A lot of reading. That's what that means. I've got a Monoprix haul for you guys. And I know this has nothing to do with swapping my Instagram time for reading. I also told you earlier today that I have pink eye and I'm getting sicker. So I went to the store and I got essentials, and here's what they are. I got 2 juice things, sort of. I got a thing of orange juice, which I'm notorious for chugging one of these when I feel like I'm getting sick, and then I also got a immunity shot, turmeric, ginger, and banana, and maybe or pineapple or something like that, and it has 5 shots in it, so I can take this over the next few days. I got some infusion detox tea. I don't know what's in it, but I got some honey as well, which I'll pull out in a second, but I thought this might be a good thing to drink in the mornings, maybe. Like I just said, a little thing of honey to go with my tea, and also maybe just to take spoonfuls of. Food item wise, I got 2 sweet potatoes, or what I think are sweet potatoes / yams. I got some cheese because I've been inspired by that girl on TikTok, the sweet potato with the cheese. And then I also got some Crocs because when I'm sick I want a little sweet treat, and I don't want it to be cold because right now I only have ice cream, because then I think it'll hurt my throat more. That's my little Monoprix haul. Other than that, as of reading, I actually just went for a little walk as well because I'd been in my apartment all day kind of editing and doing things like that, and I locked in on some of my reading, and I actually continued this book, which I don't know how far I am now because I happened upon the audiobook. I really love how it's being narrated. Also, there's like a little excerpt from the author at the end, so I definitely want to listen to that on audio. The afterword is narrated by Stephen King, but I am going to sit down tonight and read along with the audiobook tonight, which I'm very excited about, but I have to lock in on some other things first. I need to cook myself dinner. I need to do a little bit of work with my resume and like other things for internship stuff. But later tonight, I am going to wind down with a little bit of reading in bed, which I'm quite excited for. So that's the end of right now. I'm gonna unpack all my stuff from Monoprix and then lock in on my stuff and then wind down with some reading. That's my plan for the night. But I've already finished my time, by the way. I've well over finished my time. This week has been a good reading week for me. And I did read a little bit of my Kindle book as well today, so that was good. But just keep on trucking. Unfortunately, even though I feel sick, I did go, like I said, for a little walk, and I did 3.41 miles, which was nice for me to get in my steps for the day. But I just wanted to give you a little haul and update you on my reading.